Good morning, everybody. We are back with the show called TBR SSF Show, which simply means TBR Solution Sports Forum. And then it is myself and the Man City man. I don't know what's the play they lost, but he will tell us about that. Yeah, Pete, welcome to the show. Let's greet the viewers.
Thanks, Saubrey. Welcome, viewers. Welcome back. Hope you enjoy the show.
Thank you so much for joining us as viewers. There's quite a lot that we are going to share with you, which we want you to maybe. I'll just give you the news in the meantime. Our topic is a little bit different, not necessarily different. What is the name? Tiko Modise, who played for Pirates, who played for Sundowns. He says, in essence, he's not happy with the coach. He says Sundowns has lost the character of the football that they are playing. You don't know what's happening. It is not enjoyable to watch Sundowns anymore. But he added something, which is something that I want us to discuss. He said, but there is no team, either Pirates, Chiefs, that shows any ambition of winning the league. He said the difference between Mamelodi Sundowns and those teams, Mamelodi Sundowns is ambitious. So in essence, what he's trying to say, they may struggle now, but he sees them winning the league. So that's the subject that we want us to look at. Peter has done some bit of research as far as that is concerned. We know the issue of Ribeiro. He's got some news there, and then he will talk to us about those issues. So those are some of the issues that I wanted us to look at. But before I go there, I just want to share the news around the world, what is happening in our football. Let me start with this one. Peter, do you know that, what's his name again? Solskjaer, and then, I'll tell you now.
Ole Gunnar Solskjaer,
And
ex-Man United player.
yeah, they have just been sacked together with Mourinho. And where are they sacked? In Turkey. Whoever thought? Because you thought that Turkey is a small country, not a football nation, and they have these big names. But results are results at the end of the day. Solskjaer has been sacked by Besiktas, whereas Mourinho was sacked by Fenerbahce. And now these are big names. Pete, what's your take? It shows how stressful this job is. What's your take about
Yeah, I don't want that job. I would love the pay, but I don't want the job. Yeah, no,
it?
it's very stressful.
Yeah,
But
look.
it just shows you the ambitions of the
Mm,
Turkish league to
mm,
play in Europe.
mm,
Because
mm.
Mourinho, he failed to qualify for the Champions League,
Yeah.
and I think what made it worse was that they lost against Benfica, which is like, it's a bit like the Chiefs losing to Pirates, say, for
Mm,
example.
mm, mm, mm,
So that was an extra stab in the back there, really.
mm,
And
mm,
yeah, but he had something to say.
mm.
Would you like to read what he actually said there was? Yeah,
No, who? Mourinho?
yeah,
No, apparently he's looking for a job again in Europe. As you are
yeah.
saying,
Well,
as you are
he
saying,
says
okay.
he was critical of he's critical of the club. He said if the Champions League was vital to my club, something would have been done with the transfer window between Feyenoord and Benfica. Mourinho said before the playoff of the second leg with the Portuguese club, I don't think Fenerbahce has a transfer list. So I think, being critical of your club obviously is, it's going to put you in a bad light, is it not? But I mean, that's Mourinho. That's his style. He's very controversial. He says he says what he wants. Yeah.
Typical of
But
him.
maybe he's got a point. Maybe he's got a point, eh?
Let
Maybe, I
me
mean, look, at the end of the.
let me ask this, Pete.
Hmm.
Do a coach have to complain? Why don't you raise the issues when you start? I'll tell you why am I saying this. We have here at home Steve Barker playing with no names. Every year they take players from him, but the man keeps on performing well. He doesn't go beyond position number 5. He competes, he goes to finals, even if he loses them. So, and sometimes it reminds me of what Dr. Ivan Koza said at some point. You are the coach, your job is to coach. We'll bring the players for you. Is it because I expected Mourinho to have raised that right from the beginning? What is your ambition? All right, I don't know. That's my
Well, maybe he did. Maybe he did. We don't know. I mean, this is just like the latest news now, so we don't know what went on behind the scenes. And
behind the scene.
we always have those discussions about the PSL and secrecy or not being open there. We don't know what went down there, but he says it the way that he sees it. Mourinho, he's not the kind of guy that is, if you like, politically correct. But yes, now he's vacant again now, as is Solskjaer now. Solskjaer was he was fired within 1 hour. They were played Besiktas. No, he was sacked by Besiktas, and they failed to qualify for the Europa Conference League. What does it say here? The club statement said our contract with manager Oliver Solskjaer has been terminated following a decision made at the board meeting. Following the meeting, our chairman thanked Solskjaer for his services to date. Sounds very much like the Mourinho exit statement as well. The former United boss leaves having won 15 of his 19 matches as manager. Now, 15 out of 29, that's a 50% hit rate, basically. Yeah? And it doesn't even include any draws that might have come into play there. But he only started with Besiktas in January. So he's lasted 8 months there. So it just shows you, coming back to our conversation earlier about how tough it is to be a coach. I mean,
very tough job.
I mean, we're talking about the Turkish league now, and people will say, it's not the Premier League or it's not Serie A or whatever it is, but these clubs have got ambitions.
Yeah, even here at home. Look at the pressure that now Cardoso is going through, but that is part of our subject today. But let me move on quickly. Here is what's his name? Busquets has indicated that he may retire. So he may retire at Inter Miami. He hasn't renewed it yet. His contract, I think, is running out. But he says he doesn't see himself going back to Europe again. So that means he accepts that the legs have carried him enough. And Nkota from Orlando Pirates scored a very good goal at Saudi Arabia. And then he says he is happy there. He's enjoying himself. That's what is important for me. I want the player to be happy. So it means, in other words, he's going to stay there, which is good. Because one thing for sure that you don't want to see, to see a player that is homesick. I'm just rushing quickly, Pete, because you'll be going now. I'm just sharing the news. The tickets are available already for the BP Top 8. As you can see there on our screen, they're announcing the outlets where you can go and buy the tickets. And then so people go out there and buy the tickets. And I must say, Pete, I'm very much impressed with the fact that I see the stadiums are full these days, which is quite
75,000 at the Chiefs Mamelodi Sundowns game the other night. 75,000 midweek game. Yeah. So the guys love their football, obviously. Yeah.
Yeah, the people in the PSL have done a good job. I was talking to one Pirates friend, Tabinho, our only Brazilian. He called me last night. Yesterday. And then we were talking. I said, Dr. Ivan Koza has done a lot for football. Football has increased. And then, so I like that. And then the prices have gone up. Our league is the best in Africa. All right. But I told him that, but they mustn't expect us to praise them all the time if they don't do things accordingly. We will say, say it, and that's our job. I like journalists that are brave. And then that leads me to the news that we want to discuss today. What is his name? Diko Modise feels that Mamelodi Sundowns, they've lost their character. The football that they are playing is not the football that he is used to, or Mamelodi Sundowns fans are used to. And then he's worried about Mamelodi Sundowns. But he mentioned something very important at the same time. He said, but I don't see teams being ambitious, all right, in the league. So I see Mamelodi Sundowns continue to dominate. And then meaning Orlando Pirates, Kaizer Chiefs, Sikhukhune United, they're all not ambitious. And then he sees the repeat of Mamelodi Sundowns taking the league. And then I mentioned Sikhukhune deliberately because Hugo Broos, I start to respect this guy. You know what I like about this guy? He speaks his mind. He doesn't care who says what, from which corner. He says, according to him, so far the only team that plays a good football is Sikhukhune United. No Pirates, no Sundowns, no Kaizer Chiefs. He said, yes, Kaizer Chiefs, I understand. They're just trying, but they have improved compared to last year. Pirates have just bought new players, so they're trying to gel. So he's not happy. He says Sikhukhune is the only team that plays a good football. But addition to that, I've seen the Amazulu. They're doing well. They play very well now. This is Tiko Modise. That's the topic that we want us to discuss. So I don't know. What's your take, Pete? Will both Pirates, Chiefs, Sikhukhune United have the courage to topple Mamelodi Sundowns from that position of being the kings of the PSL? Let me hear you.
Yeah, Mamelodi Sundowns have done really well last season. Okay, it's a bit of a bumpy start for them this year. Look, winning becomes a habit, eh? That's teams that win continue to win unless they really have major structural changes. And I bring this back to like my team, Man City, when last year they had Rodri out. Now that is such a key player for Man City. I mean, it devastated our league. In fact, we had a lot of injuries last year. So I think you've got to look when you start talking about teams that are going to present a challenge or be wanting to make a challenge there. Squad is a big difference because it just takes a couple of injuries of your key players and you don't have squad backup. Then it'll have an influence on your performance going forward. But the league is a long one. It's a long way to go. In terms of Mamelodi Sundowns at the moment, I watched their game against Amazulu. They didn't look that impressive to me at the moment. And like you say, Amazulu actually looked the better team, if I'm honest with you. That's from my perspective. Will anybody challenge Mamelodi Sundowns? No, I think look at Chiefs this year. They've started off. They're out of the the gates there with 3 wins, and when they played Sundowns during the week there, it was a very uneventful game. There was a couple of nice saves from the keepers, etc., but as some fans, as you said, found the game a little bit boring. I don't believe any team like Pirates, Chiefs, and to a lesser degree Sikhukhune are in that league just to be participants. They have ambitions. Their coaches and the boards behind the coaches want results. So I might disagree with Teko there. I think let's watch Chiefs a little bit this year. I think they're in a bit of a resurgence, and let's see. It's a good side though, Mamelodi Sundowns, even though they've started bad. But let's hope. We need to break this them winning the league all the time there. So it would be good to see another team on top there.
You know,
And yourself, what do you think?
For me, Chiefs look very good.
We do.
And they're hungry. All right.
Mm.
A hungry lion is a problem. But one problem that I've noticed with Chiefs, the target man. That is why they can't bury the goals. Yes, I see Duba, but Duba missed so many goals. Well, it reminds me of Congo Malibane. Congo Malibane would miss 5 and score 1. They win 1-0. They lose 3-0. Congo Malibane would miss 10 and score 3. They play 3-3. And then Swallows wouldn't really take him out, irrespective of missing, because they know that within 90 minutes, Congo will score. Duba, for me, he misses. I'm longing the days whereby players will do what great players are doing. Jomo used to train 3 times. And remember, there was no scientific arrangement. 3 times a day. He would train once with the team and twice alone. He would do, the Orlando Stadium? He would climb those stairs up and down, up and down. And then there was a time he would do all the free kicks, all the set pieces and everything, technical development as a player, as an individual. Then later he trains with the team. And remember, all of us have been saying, Messi's a talent and all that. But David Beckham said, guess what? This guy, the first day of training, he arrived at training at 7 in the morning when the training was starting at 10. And then he said, I went there. I said, I wanted to see. He said, when I was there, he was alone, playing alone, doing all the set pieces, all the technicality, okay? Free kicks and so on, alone. And then he said they would start only at 10. Then this guy had been there now for how many? 8, 9, 10, 3 hours. Okay? Ronaldo, we had so many stories that
he didn't need to warm up.
Yeah, Ronaldo, we had so many stories. The one that is very killing is Adebayo. Adebayo said, they said, hey, this guy works hard. I said, I want to arrive early. He said he arrives around about 7 at Real Madrid. He found that Ronaldo was there. And then he said, no.
I think, if you look at Messi, there's that saying, that work smart, not hard, right? But I think with Messi, he works, and the same with Jomo. They work hard when it comes to training, but they work smart on the field. So I always said that to enjoy football, you've got to be fit.
You've got to be fit. You can say it again.
If you're fit, I mean, fitness. I mean, your stamina mustn't be an issue when you're on that pitch. You must be fit enough to last the game, and then your mind is in the game, and you're not concentrating on your body being a little bit tired or whatever the case may be. So
that is why they rarely get injured, those players, because they're fit.
Yeah. Well, they can't catch you either.
Once you are there, because I want us to move on, tell us what's happening at Mamelodi Sundowns. You told me about Ribeiro, the story around Ribeiro, contract issue and so on. What's happening?
I saw a very interesting article when I was doing my research for today. So if one looks at Ribeiro, there's a legal perspective from a company. I can't remember their name there. So I've made a few notes here. So it says here, and I'm going to read it. In the prevailing disputes, the contract law principle, and it's got these fancy, what do they call Latin terms? It says pacta sunt Savanda principle provides that contractual provisions must be upheld subject to termination grounds expressly contained in the said contract. You remember we had a bit of a legal talk about Ribeiro, so this is the expert speaking, not us now. So Ribeiro's contract with Sundowns runs until 2028. He claims to be terminating it for just cause. Remember we had that discussion about just cause, which implicitly suggests that Mamelodi Sundowns may not be in breach. So the lawyers are saying that, you know, Sundowns have got the edge here. Otherwise, one would expect reliance to be placed on a more substantive grounds of termination, such as contractual non-performance by the club. Now, if you remember, Ribeiro went to FIFA and he's put the just cause claim in there, but there was no details, right? So this guy's saying, you know, with basically, and then he goes on to say, Article 14 of the FIFA regulations on the status and transfer of players provides that a contract may be terminated by either parties without consequence of any kind where there is just cause. So that's Ribeiro's case. And then he goes on to say, this lawyer says, just cause is broadly interpreted to include non-payment of salaries, failure to provide playing opportunities to the player, abusive behavior, a hostile working environment, and other serious breaches by the club. Now, if you really consider that as being factual from a lawyer's perspective, do you really think Ribeiro's actually got a case?
It's a mountain.
I mean, they paid him. He'd had playing opportunities. I can't see, but again, we don't know what happens behind the scenes. I can't believe that he would have been, you know, somehow abused by the club. I think what's coming to play here is, and I think we're seeing it quite a bit now in South African football, is we've got talent here, and Europe and other places, Saudi and the Americas now are starting to look at our players and say, "Well, yeah, this is a good player, eh? You know, we want to pull this player." But they're already contracted, obligated. So I think this case, I don't know whether that's, I believe they're talking again with Ribeiro. The club are talking to Ribeiro. This is now subject to what you hear on the internet. And I believe he might even be back for, you know, training according to, you know, what's on the web there. So maybe they're going to resolve this, shall we say, out of court, as it were. Because at the end of the day, you know, the club has contractual obligations with this guy, and you know they've got a financial interest in him, and we discussed that with the last meeting. Yeah, so let's watch this space. Let's see what happens. Because should he win that? Can you imagine what would happen should he win that case? There's a precedent been set there. And I think you're going to see, you know, Europe and other teams, you know, because the guys want to play for, you know, these clubs. You know, they're going to start stealing our talent en masse, you know, and then, you know, that suppresses our league, and we don't really want that. We want our league to feature, you know, in the world. And you know, with the Club World Cup and Mamelodi Sundowns in that performance there, I think it opened the eyes of, you know, and that's why I love this competition, FIFA Club World Cup. It's definitely getting more attention these days. So yes, that's the latest on Ribeiro, according to a lawyer. So yeah.
What for me, I would say Mamelodi Sundowns, if they want the money they feel that they deserve, is their evaluation. Let them get it. Gone are the days whereby European teams, South American teams, they can come here and take players for nothing. We need to build our teams. We need to build our football. Mamelodi Sundowns can come up with its own price. Remember, they are arguing that he was not known in Belgium and wherever he plays again. And then he came here. They introduced him to CAF Champions League. They introduced him to Club World Cup. And then his value went to another level. And remember, he scored the best goal of the Club World Cup.
Yep,
So
yeah.
they deserve to get what they deserve. As I get the rumors, Mamelodi Sundowns are not against him leaving because they feel that he can be replaced. Okay? Because even myself too, I wouldn't love to have a player who's not happy. If a player feels that I want to leave, why not? Don't keep him, allow him to go. But Mamelodi Sundowns should get the fair share, all right, of that. We don't know. Like you said, if we get the news, it will be better. And I must say, I commend Babina Noko, which is Sikhukhune United. Those guys, they give you the news like Stelis. They give a lot of news all the time. Anything that happens in those teams, you get the news. And this is all what we are asking. Give us the news. Once you give us the news, then we can be able to share and make sure that your supporters are informed. Pete, let's move on. What's happening in England?
Well, let's keep it with my team there.
Yeah.
I was a little bit disappointed, obviously, last Sunday when Spurs beat us. In fact, they didn't beat us; they completely outclassed us, in my opinion. To be honest with you, tactically, not on the pitch, tactically. Their new coach who came from Brentford, Thomas Frank, he had, I think he had Pep in his back pocket. To be honest with you, in that game, they played. I was really impressed, if not disappointed, but still, impressed. And I think now they're lying second in the league now, behind Arsenal. Yeah, it's it's a good start for Thomas Frank. It just shows you what a good coach he is.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
shows you what a good coach he is.
Mm.
But now, again, can they sustain that over, over the next 30 odd games or whatever there's still left? It's a long season. We will see. And Spurs normally tend to start well and then sort of like fade in the background, which I think is a bit disappointing for their fans. But I think if one looks at the fixtures this week, we have to put Man City put that behind us. We've got a tough game at Brighton this weekend. But I think the game of this weekend for anybody that's interested in the English Football League there is going to be Liverpool versus Arsenal. That is going to be a humdinger, as they say. So yes, let's see how that goes. I'll be watching that game and seeing,
that's a game to watch.
who's going to come out top there.
That's the
Who's
game
going
to
to come
watch.
out top there.
But with your game, what worries me, you lost 4-0. Okay. And
2-0.
was it 2-0? Or 2-0
Yeah,
is
it's 2-0.
much better. I thought it's 4. And I say, hey,
No.
this one was going to worry me. Because I've learned something. I've learned something that if a team wants to win, they must win from the back. Close the back door, you'll win. And if you look at Kaiser Chiefs now, no more leakage at the back. If you remember Highlands Park, you know the club called Highlands Park. A lot of players were playing there. I remember Despacos and so on. They would close at the back, wouldn't score against them, but they would score against them. So I've heard so many coaches, they say, if you win the game, you start from the back. And then I think Kaiser Chiefs have resolved their problem in terms of McCarthy and also the Miguel. That combination, the goalkeeper seems to be coming of age now for Kaiser Chiefs. Because remember, goalkeeper is part of those back four.
Yeah.
So if you have lost 2, no, it's not bad. It's not bad. Because I wouldn't like Pep losing a job. He may lose a job, but with his head high. That's what I want to say.
If I take my objective hat off and I put my Man City cap on, if you really look at it, the new goalkeeper that we got there, Trafford, he made a big mistake for that second goal. And he was partially at mistake for the first goal. So, it was a great game. But tactically, Spurs had us in their back pocket, for sure. For sure. And if I bring it back to the local league there, I see a weakness, in my eyes at least anyway, with Mamelodi Sundowns at the back there. They don't look so strong now. I don't maybe agree with that. They don't. They look a little bit weak at the back.
Having said what you have just said, Hugo Broos said Mbogazi is one star. He has never seen such a star ever since he came here. At his age, remember he's a captain at 18. Captain of what? Orlando Pirates. Eh? And I've been saying that this boy is not gonna last. He's going. And then others are comparing him with OJ Mabizela. That's exactly what I see in him. And then he went further. And this is what I like. Mo said, the boy is so humble. The boy is so respectful. I don't know whether people understand those traits are very important. Respectful, humbleness, and then don't be arrogant. Because others, I start seeing a little bit arrogancy in Lamine Yamal. I don't know whether you've seen that. I've seen the parties and so on. You know, I don't like that. You know? I've been following Messi. I've been following Ronaldo. Yes, Ronaldo once in a while he parties while he was at Man United. Then he stopped. You know, those remember Ronaldinho. Ronaldinho should
remember Ferguson.
Yeah,
Ferguson would not. If anybody watched that series with David Beckham, and they would say, "Oh, Ferguson he didn't like the fact that he was going out with Posh Spice,
yes,
that's his wife.
I know he was against that relationship.
But he was going from Manchester, from the club, down to London where she was, and Ferguson didn't like it. And but anyway, another one that you mentioned there, you were talking about humbleness, etc., and bring it back to Messi and the other guys who were talking about Jomo. Persistence and practice. Practice makes perfect, as you say. And I think that you work hard at your own weaknesses, if you like, or strengths.
Yeah,
it's very difficult to control the weakness, but you must play to your strengths.
Sometimes people confuse Jomo. They think he's arrogant. He's not arrogant. What is the terminology? He's not aggressive. The opposite of that. He's not arrogant. He's not aggressive, but he's overconfident. But there's a terminology for that. I just found out.
Me also miss it. There's a fine line. There's a fine line between.
He believes in himself. It's just like Ronaldo.
That English saying that. That English saying that I'm trying to get my lips around here, get my head going. Maybe the coffee's not sunk in yet. There's a fine line between arrogance and confidence.
Yeah. So he's So and that's it. Pete, it's gonna cut us anytime, but I'll be continuing.
Yes, I have to go.
If you really want to leave, but if you think you still want to move on and continue with us, you're more than welcome to stay. Because I still have other subjects that I need to touch on. Anything that you'd like to now? Your predictions. Do you think the three Sundowns, Pirates, Chiefs, Sikhukhune will definitely compete with will topple Mamelodi Sundowns?
It's going to be a tough one because, as I say, success breeds success. And they had a good showing in the Club World Cup, so they got impetus a little bit. But I see a weakness at the back there. I do see a weakness at the back, and if the teams can focus on that, and Mamelodi Sundowns don't, address that. And the thing is their nature as a club like Mamelodi Sundowns to attack. If you've got a weakness at the back, you're exposing that, you're stretching that even more. So I think Chiefs are going to have a season this year. Let's watch Pirates. They had a bad start, but in the MTA final now. So, let's see.
But still, I don't think Chiefs would win the league. As I say, they lack a target man. But they'll do well compared to two previous seasons.
Yeah.
They'll do well.
No, for sure.
winning the league.
I don't think you can write off Pirates. You can't write Pirates off. They will be there. They will be
Pirates
there,
can win the
even
league.
with that.
Pirates
Certainly, it's an interesting team. I think let's keep our eyes on them, and let's see what happens over the next couple of games. But
don't underestimate
it's going to be interesting.
Sikhukhune. They're very consistent. They're playing well. You know, I like Hugo Broos. People don't like him. And then he said, I'm not gonna, he said, Chiefs, this is how he argues why he doesn't select players from Chiefs. He said for 2 seasons they haven't played in an African continental tournament. All right. So he said, and then we need, if you play AFCON, you need that African experience. You see, this guy, he's reasonable. You may like his reasons. It's your business. But the fact of the matter, he wins. All right. So if he was not winning, it was another story. So that's how he argues. He said, no, for 2 seasons, they were not playing. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. If somebody shows humility and respect, you go a long way. I don't have to go far just to show you that. Madiba wielded so much respect because of the respect that he was giving out. Lionel Messi is loved by peers. Now, I'm not saying about us fans. I'm saying by peers because of his humility and the respect that he shows to other team members. He never allows players to belittle themselves. This is what Tembele said. Tembele said, I will always be indebted to Lionel Messi. I grew up watching him. He's my idol. And when I was at Barcelona struggling, he said to me, no, calm down. You need to work hard. Work hard, results will come. He said, for that encouragement, he said, even today, now it brings me back where we started when we said, we have been told that Lionel Messi is talented, but you cannot substitute hard work. Hard work is always there. If you don't do hard work, I mean, even in business, you know it yourself. You work like a slave, then you'll see the success. I've seen it with my uncle. My uncle was very rich. Was a hard work. So I saw it live to say it's not as easy as that. It's not as easy as that. So hard work, you can't substitute it for anything. Pete, I'm sure you have to leave us, but thank you for being with us. And then just bid the viewers farewell. But before that, tell us about the Man City draw for the Champions League. How does it look for them?
A little bit rough, if I'm honest, but let's talk about it.
Yeah.
So, in their pool, there's a pool of 8 that Man City have to play over their fixtures. And then obviously, if you remember how the pool worked from last year, you have to finish in the top 16. The top 8 qualify immediately, and the following 8 have to play off to get into the final round. So Man City have drawn Borussia Dortmund, Real Madrid, Leverkusen, Villarreal, Napoli, Bud Glimp, Galatasaray, which is another of those Turkish teams, and
Galatasaray doesn't worry me. They always go there, but they
no
nowhere.
No, so for me, the tough games are Dortmund, Madrid, Leverkusen, Villarreal, and Napoli.
Yeah.
So yeah, tough times ahead.
Now, before you go further, what do you think about this new format? Has it improved football?
Hey, I think it's made it a little bit more interesting, if I'm honest. Because it works on the league. So each pot play each other, and then they cumulatively come together to create the league table. And then, as I said, the top 8 versus the remaining 8 to 16, they go through. And it's a bit like what we were talking about, a football league.
Mhm.
You know, it
It's a
puts
format
more,
of World Cup, the World Cup format, a league
yeah,
format, and knockout
yeah,
stages, and so on.
yeah,
My
but it's a
question is,
slightly different one.
has it brought some excitement in terms of in the field of play?
Uh, I don't think so. I think it's still, you know, top teams playing against top teams. So I don't think
Mm,
that changes.
mm,
So
mm.
I don't know. It's probably even more. Is it not more games now that are being played?
No,
I
no.
think it's
My
more
question
games.
was based on, has it improved the quality of
Hmm.
football?
No, I don't think so. No, I
Okay,
think
okay.
the top teams that play. I
Mm,
don't know. What do the viewers think?
mm,
Let's hear what they say if they watch
mm,
the Champions League. Let's
mm,
hear what they think about the new format and that question. Has
mm.
it improved?
Have they kept the away goal rule, or the away goal rule is gone?
No, it's out. It's out.
I'll tell you
Yeah.
one thing, I used to love it.
Mhm. Well,
For me,
yeah,
I
that
used
would.
to love it
That,
because
yeah.
what I saw with the away goal rule, it improved football tremendously. I'll give you an example. PSG versus Barcelona. Liverpool versus Barcelona. Barcelona had
Mm-hmm.
won 3-0. The second leg, we have written them out. Okay? But what happened? That's how the away rule for me was so good. And then PSG ran away with the game. They ran riot to Barcelona. Guess what? When they went there, oh, Barcelona, they played the best football of their lives.
Mm-hmm.
That was for me. And then once they moved that away goal rule, I said, nah, man, that's my opinion. That's my opinion. So I'm giving you those two games where I saw the away goal rule having impacted so much on the football in the field.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my opinion. I don't know what's your take.
Yeah, it's. I think you're right. I think you're 100% right. But it's also bad when your team goes out on the away goal rule because,
Yeah,
as you see
yeah,
it, it's like 3-3 or 4-4 or 2-2, whatever
yeah,
the case may be. You haven't
yeah,
actually lost over an aggregate score, but
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. But it's about
it's
excitement at the end of the day for us, the
yeah,
fans.
yeah. No, if you're taking it purely from a football perspective and not
Yeah,
your team's perspective, I
it's
think you're
about
correct.
excitement. Pete, thank you
Yeah,
so much. Bid them very well. Let me just continue. I'm gonna do the
guys.
last two sections, which is other books and the Messi
Mm,
special. Remember, he's playing the final tomorrow. This
yeah.
will be his third final. All right. He has already had two trophies. Ronaldo has nothing ever since he went. And Ronaldo scored more goals than him. So, in other
Mm,
words, his goals are more decisive. That's what I wanted. That argument I keep on saying it doesn't exist anymore.
uh,
And then somebody said it was just for the newspaper to sell. It's no argument.
mm.
Have you seen Carragher speaking about it? He become passionate about it. It's like he hates Ronaldo.
Mm, yeah. Mm.
Okay, Pete, just bid them farewell.
Guys, enjoy the weekend. Enjoy the football that's coming. Don't forget the Sunday game if you like the Premier League. Liverpool versus Arsenal. That's one not to miss, I think. Going to set the scene for what's coming. Have a great weekend, guys. Cheers, Aubrey.
Pete, our show last Tuesday did extremely well in terms of
Mm,
numbers. I hope even this one will go there. Thank you so much.
I'm good. Cheers, man.
Good luck. Have a
Bye
very
bye.
good Saturday. Much appreciated. Okay. All right, let's move on. People, as I said, we move on with our show. And you know that all the time we speak our books because we are a financial company. So I'm going to share the books that you can just get from us. Here's the first one. This one is the second edition, but there's also the first edition. The book is called Secrets for Becoming Rich. I believe in that if you really want to win in the money game, you need to learn from others. How did they do it? While I'm still there, Warren Buffett has donated about 6 billion US dollars. And then guess what? And one of the foundation is Bill and Mel Mel Gate Foundation. Why do you give that one? They're very rich. But he always give them. So he has contributed a lot of money. You know Warren Buffett, his belief, his philosophy. He said he has nurtured his children. He has given them whatever tools that they give. I know one of the daughter is running her own foundation, but he said they're not going to get his richness. He has given them the necessary tools to make their own money. I don't know whether you agree with that argument or not, to say, because apparently, according to him, he says he wants them to learn, to understand how to make money on your own rather than inheriting. He said, yeah, I've given them money to start their own businesses, to go to school and what have you, and not more than that. I don't know. We all have a different belief. So this is one of the books. And then these are people that I always learn from them. And then here is another one, which is the second book that I wrote is called How I Turned 500 Rand into a Million Rand Business. You can do the same. This book, you can even get it on Amazon as an ebook. So in other words, you can download it on your phone, on your computer. So yeah, you can have it on Amazon. And this is the hard copy, and you can get it if you want. So those are some of the books that you can get from us. And then the other one is this one is by a very good friend of mine, Nomsa Masbugo, who hails from Emalahleni, which is Witbank, and now it's known as Emalahleni. If you know the history, that's where the coal is. And then the coal that we have, so that is why it's called Emalahleni. So the book is called Entrepreneur, Awakening with a Drive. And I know she's a very successful businesswoman. She's doing very, very well. And what I like about Nomsa, he's got his heart at the right place. He likes contributing back to the community, giving them, supporting community as much as he can, as much as she can. So which is quite good. And then the other one is this one, a very good friend of mine, Dr. Daniel Small, 33 years of experience working for the Reserve Bank, an economist by profession, as an advisor to the governors of the Reserve Bank. He wrote this book, How to Win the Wealth Game, The Art of Money. Don't you want to learn from somebody who works from the Reserve Bank where they print money? Maybe that's what you should do. And then the last one that I want to share is this one. This one is called How to Get Out of Bad Debts, Use Other People's Money and Resources to Get Rich. Because you need to use other people's money to get rich. The rich, they don't build business with their money. Instead, they use other people's money to get rich. So it's something it's a skill that you learn, and then and you learn. I've learned a lot from a lot of people. I've been mentored by a lot of people, but that has helped me to to go to another level in everything that I do in life. So everything that I do, I look at those things. Now, look, I said now we are going to do the Messi special. And tomorrow they are playing the final. And then if you want to watch, you can watch. I don't miss Messi games. Just like Jomo, I wouldn't miss any game of Jomo's son. That used to be my favorite player. He's still my favorite player of all time. Him and Lionel Messi. Those are the favorite players. Well, there are so many people that I like. I used to enjoy Ronaldinho. But I think Ronaldinho, what killed him was more of a discipline. We're talking about that commitment, discipline, and so on. And then we hear so many stories that he was partying a lot. So that is why, because Ronaldinho, if you check Ronaldinho, he was something else. He was like JJ Okocha. JJ Okocha was the most talented player. And apparently, Ronaldinho was learning from JJ Okocha. And they once played together with JJ Okocha. So yeah, so those are some of the people that I wanted to let me share the message special, and then here This man, just for this year only, Lionel Messi has played on. These are the finals. The finals that he played, because he's playing another final tomorrow morning during the wee hours. He played 41 finals. He scored 33 goals in the finals and 13 13 assists and 46 goal contribution, and then 10 men of the matches. Let me see. Is this no. Yeah, this is in the finals. 10 men of the match. And I always argue and say, once you have been called men of the match, in other words, you have beaten about 21 players in the field of play. Okay, so you are the best among 22 players. So for me, that's why I can say, if you are man of the match, that means you have done well. So so those are the numbers. And then this is the goal that he scored on Wednesday. On Wednesday, when they were played, it was the semi-final so that they can qualify for the final. And then I think he got scored late, around about 78, if I'm not mistaken. They were losing 1-0. And then he said after the game, when they were interviewing him, he said he was a little bit scared about injuries. And then he was a little bit, what do you call? He had a fear of, playing hard because this hamstring injury is giving him a problem. Remember, he's looking at World Cup 2026. He wants to play in the World Cup. So now he was a little bit worried. So he said he wasn't applying himself, but he said as the game goes on, he started gaining his confidence. He started playing. That's when we started seeing him scoring 2 goals in that game, and then he became man of the match. As you can see here, immediately after that, he went to go and hug his son. And then he went to go and hug his son. So which is a nice thing. And then and the other thing that I like about Messi says he's going to play probably the last qualifying game for the World Cup next year. No. The next qualifying game, he said this could be the last qualifying game for him. And then because this could be the last qualifying game, and then he'll be going there with his family from his side, from his wife's side. He will have all those people with him. So now we'll see. We'll watch the space very closely. And as I said earlier on, as I was talking to Pete, I don't compare Ronaldo and Messi anymore. There's no comparison anymore. And look here, ever since they stopped playing in Europe, one played in Saudi Arabia, the other one in America. Look at the numbers. Messi played 71 games, Ronaldo played 112 games, and Messi has scored 59 goals. Of course, Ronaldo has scored 100 goals. Remember, he went there 2 years ahead of Messi before Messi can go to, because he was still in Europe. And then Messi has done 30 assists. Look at that. And then Ronaldo has done 19 assists. And then Messi has won 2 trophies already. And the chances are he may win another trophy on Sunday. So that's another chance. And then penalties, Messi has scored 2 penalties so far. And then Ronaldo, that is why they call him Penaldo. He has scored 27 goals. And then the goal and assist, Messi has done 89. Ronaldo has done 119. So, yeah, that's a Messi special for me. And then thank you so much. And then, as I said to Pete, our last show did very well. And I hope you'll also watch this one and share with others. And please subscribe and like. And then, then we'll take it from there. And then and see how far we can go. Thank you so much for being with us at all times. Much appreciated. And then the beat goes on. Kaufela, Sisonke, So, Rotle, Remoho, Singwe, we are together on Sesam, all of us. Thank you. Much appreciated. Bye-bye. Hi, everyone. I'm sure you are already in the year 2025, and then you are asking yourself, what are you going to do? Some of you have been working for many years, and then now you are contemplating of either resigning or going on retirement. And it looks scary. You're not sure what are you going to do, how are you going to survive, you're worried about your pension, and so on and so on. Especially if you're a GPF member at the age of 55 and above, and you are in those situations. You are thinking, what's going to happen? Remember, the most important thing, you need to think about how can you save the little that you have, in terms of how do you avoid penalties, because when you retire earlier than 60, you'll be penalized. How can you avoid that? Not to be penalized, not even a cent. You also want to make sure that you maximize in terms of the taxation. But get me right, tax applies to everyone. But you want to make sure that you are tax as little as you can. And you want to do all those things. You need somebody who's skilled, somebody who's trained to deal with finance, because tax avoidance is allowed. Because when you avoid tax, you use the tax law. Now, if you want to do that, to make sure that you save as much as you can, don't hesitate. Contact us, TBR Solution, or the BigR Financial Services, an authorized financial service provider. And then just say, please, I want you to assist me. I want to go out. So come and share knowledge with me. Now, no obligation. You don't have to make any obligation. Just listen to the facts. After listening to the facts, make a decision. Can listen to us, can listen to others, then so that you're exposed to various information, so that when you make a decision, it's an informed decision. Now, my name is the Saubrey Boyz Walefatshe from TBR Solution. Here I'm representing the bigger financial services and authorized financial service provider. If you want to know how to get hold of us, just look at the WhatsApp number, drop us your contact via WhatsApp. We'll therefore come back to you. I thank you.